We are previewing this week's Missouri Valley Conference Women's Basketball Game of the Week. This game is going to be on the Missouri Valley Sports Network and ESPN Plus. 6 p.m. Friday, we are going to be in Carbondale. The matchup's going to be the Murray State Racers and the Salukis of Southern Illinois. And we have both coaches joining us here today. And thank you guys for taking a little time out of your day to join us and talk about this matchup. And already, you know what, in the blink of an eye, we're midway through the conference season, 10 games under your belts, and just kind of want to talk to you guys a little bit about maybe what your report card is for your team at this point, the midway point of the season. So Coach Bond White, let's start with you.
It would definitely be the subjective side of the report card with our young ladies. And what we're trying to get them to focus on is not the WHEN, but the win is coming because they are getting better. I'm enjoying coaching this group, which is in coaching, that's really important. But we have a buy-in with our young ladies, just like everybody else. We're beat up. I got a couple with the flu. I got a couple with that I lost for the season and injuries, but everybody is going through that. So what I'm most impressed with this group is we've been in every ball game except one. We've put ourselves in position, but we're doing that process of we're learning how to finish. And that's where we are with just little details that when we go back to the film work of some of these games, possessions that giving credit, of course, to our opponent, but possessions that we didn't take advantage of that could change things here and there. So it's really been, if I don't want to grade us right now because, what the numbers say, it would probably give us a failing report, but what we're getting is a valuable lesson of what it takes to break through. And what I'm most impressed with is my young ladies have kept fighting. They've kept fighting and they've stuck together throughout the course of the season. And that's tremendous growth from where we were last year at this point. Completely different group, but I love the kids we have and I love how they battle.
Well, Coach Turner, let's go to you for your mid-season report on your team.
Well, I was going to first of all commend Kelly because she's spot on. I mean, they play so hard. They have been in every game. I mean, you can just tell they bought into her and her leadership. And I mean, I've watched every single one of their games, and they're tough. And but just a credit to her because your players are an example of you. And the competitiveness, the intelligence, and all the things that Kelly brings to that team, they definitely mirror that. So I agree with her. I don't think you can give grades based on results. We're all in a process here. I mean, Kelly's in a second year, I believe, of building this program. We are in our second year of being in the Valley, which is totally different for us. And I think the process of what we're doing would probably be a better grade than the results, that we're getting at times. And, but I've used the word yet a lot. We're just not there yet. We show glimpses of it at times, and then we show glimpses of maybe going backwards. So probably depend on the day and the week if I had to grade them. But I'm the same as Kelly. I love this team. I think that the buy-in is there. And the ability is there, but this is a tough league, and the margin of error is very small. And if you are a team that's still trying to build and still trying to work on your process, then you're going to grade out differently each and every night. Some nights we've been an A+, and some nights we've been, I don't know if there's a grade below F, but that's just part of it. And I think our programs are similar in. We see a lot of growth in what we're trying to get accomplished, but the results don't always come.
Mm-hmm. Well, both of you guys have had key players step up, and Coach Turner, I want to talk about Ava Learn. She is coming off the bench. You had the same starting lineup all season long. She comes off the bench. She's your second leading scorer, so transferred in from Purdue. I guess a couple of questions, what does she bring to the team coming off the bench, and what intrigued you about her game when you knew that she was in the transferring process?
Well, we need size and we need bulk of any kind. We still not big enough, obviously. And you know, she had the ready built body. I mean, you know, playing at Purdue, she might not have played a lot of minutes, but she practiced against those kids every single day, and she understood the physicality of the game. So that was the first thing that caught our eye is just her ability to be physical and to give us a little bit more size. But you know, once she got here, we realized, wow, I mean, this kid can play. I mean, and she can play at a high level. And you know, she just is bought into. She probably would start on most mid-major teams across the country, but the way we're playing and the different style we're playing, you know, you can only start 5 at a time. But she's bought into that role. She enjoys that role, and she comes in and gives us a spark off the bench. You know, I don't even know what the numbers are because I stopped looking at them. But at one point, you know, we were leading the nation in bench points, and she's one of the reasons that happens. But her ability to rebound the basketball, score, and defend in a need area for us for bigs and physicality was something that she definitely brought to us. And you know, she's just getting better and better the more comfortable she gets and the more acclimated to this system she gets. So we're really blessed that she joined the Racers.
Well, Coach Bond White, you've got a young lady that really has evolved over the course of her career, and that's Laniya Randall. And you know, if you look at her numbers, just consistently gone up each and every year, and now averaging close to a double-double, 17 points and I think about 8 rebounds. So she's getting it done. What did she do in the offseason to really elevate her game? And what does she bring to your team, and how important she is? Obviously very important.
Yeah, Laniya is just a young lady that's just, I think she's the most improved player in our conference. I think she works. That's the biggest thing. She was on a team her freshman year that won conference under Cindy Stein, but didn't really get to compete with that group because of the veteran leadership. So when I got here, I saw a hungry kid. I saw a kid that was just trying to figure out what the lineup was going to be, and she just wanted to be a part of it. And I think that's where, with a kid like Laniya, I don't have to lately. Yes, I've been running plays for her, but early on this season, I didn't have to run anything for her because her motor's so high. She's going to go get the ball. She's going to create opportunities for herself. She's still young in her career, and figuring out her game isn't even close to where the maturity of where it's going. But watching her maturation process, she's my leader by example in practice every day. I don't think she's missed a practice. I got to force her to get in that cold tub to take care of her body because she is becoming the central point of our scouting reports, and that's new for her this season. But when you have a kid that has a passion, that plays with a passion, and through some of her frustrations that I've learned, it's just because she wants it so bad. So watching her grow and continue to get better and learn through film, which is something she hasn't really done a lot of, but now teaching her and showing her where the little things are and why she has to do certain other things to keep elevating her game. Look, I'm in the streets recruiting because I got to find more just like her. I just love her motor, and she's a competitor.
Well, let's talk a little bit about this big matchup on Friday. And Laniya is, I mean, she can run the floor, she can post up, she can do a lot of things for you. Talk a little bit about the matchup with her and Caitlin Young. If they do get matched up on one another, what's that going to look like for us?
Man, I think I respect Coach so much. Coach did some things and made some adjustments in the second half of our ball game to help Caitlin get open, just like we're trying to do, with Laniya. And just having the people, Laniya's success depends on the people around her as well. As Jaden Mason stepping up, knocking down shots, as Q spreading the floor, giving Laniya room to operate. But when you look at a matchup, that's a kid that I have to say, hey, I love it because she wants that matchup, but we got to play team defense. And when we're doing that, that's when we're at our best. But Laniya is up for it. I mean, there are some things, obviously, we're small. I heard Coach, well, I'm right there with you, Coach. I'm going to find one just like you. We got a commitment from a big right after that ball game because they saw the need. They saw that we're small and all teams are trying to isolate us in the high-low looks this year. So you go from last year being one of the biggest teams and running the same isolations 4 or 5 player to now you got to guard it. So we're trying to do some things team wise to try to give Lanai and them some help down low so they aren't in foul trouble, which we have had them in, her and Sierra, throughout the course of the season.
So Coach Turner, the last time the two of you have met up, kind of a tale of two halves for your team. So talk a little bit about that second half, what you learned from your team, and maybe down the stretch, what Caitlin Young did for you.
Well, I mean, you know, the pressure and the athleticism, you know, that her, you know, Kelly's team has is something we don't have a lot of. I mean, you know, they're kind of everything we're not in a lot of ways. And, so they, you know, they came out, they spread the floor, they used their athleticism, in the first half specifically. And, you know, they guard you and they took advantage of every mistake that we made. I mean, it just felt like the flow of the game was exactly where they needed it to be. We made a few adjustments at halftime. We were able to score the ball a little bit more on the inside than we did in the first half. And then I felt like that we kind of got the pace of the game a little bit more into where we wanted it to be. And that's the key. I mean, the way we play and the way everybody else plays, if we can play at our pace, we're more successful. If other teams can get it at their pace, I mean, that's no secret. I mean, there aren't any secrets in conference of what's trying to happen. But I think that was the main thing that happened in the second half is we finally got the game going at the pace that we wanted it to go. And we were able to get stops when we needed to. But, you know, we built a 10-point lead. And the next thing I know, it's tied. I think they made 3 or 4 threes in a row. You know, they were on fire. And it just came down to us being able to make some free throws and execute a few things at the end. But both teams deserved to win that game. It was, you know, just one of those classic battles. But they answered the bell every time we made a run, they ran back at us. But I wouldn't expect anything less from Kelly's team.
Well, Kelly, one last question. You know, last week it was kind of interesting in the Valley. Majority of the road teams won. And that does not happen very often in Valley play. So what do you need to do on Friday night to protect your home court?
I think Coach hit it on the head. It's going to be tempo. And we talk to our kids and we normally are averaging 10 plus possessions more than our opponent. And that's hard for our kids to switch gears sometimes, in that we still want to do that. We want to take advantage of it, but we have to be efficient and choose, because if we're firing away and not getting makes, it's going to ignite Coach's offense. And that's how they get down the floor. Huge fan of the adjustments you made throughout the course of the season and how you're playing, which reminds me of Arkansas, that we used to hate to have to guard, you know, back in the day when Kelsey Plum was there and everything, because the ball gets out so quick. And so for us, it'll be controlling tempo, being able to control and get back in transition to try to force them to run some offense instead of getting that shot up as quick. And then, of course, for us, we got to get to the foul line and just be able to get some paint points inside instead of everything coming from the perimeter.
Well, it's going to be a great matchup. It's going to be 6 p.m. Friday night on ESPN Plus. We're looking forward to it. Thanks, Coach Von White. Thanks, Coach Turner, for joining us. It's going to be a fun one on Friday.